Primetime.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.
I reduced my toilet paper down to 3 squares.
Matt Hayes.
Big asses and big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Bringing you love, peace, and soul.
2025. Yes, it happened just like that. Welcome into the new year, the noon hour already. The second day of January, halfway gone, and we're happy to be in the noon hour XL Primetime. This is actually our last noon hour. Helmets and Heels normally in this slot, but with Jaguars programming, this is the last week of the regular season, so you're going to hear Jags programming a little bit later on today, including the Doug Peterson Show, Frangie Show coming up at 2 o'clock this afternoon. But welcome in. Happy New Year. I don't care how many times you guys have been welcomed into 2025, but a round of applause because we all made it safe and sound. We got Matt back from the desert, a game that didn't go quite as well as we wanted it to. We'll get into that one and all the other ones. Big Searcy he looks like George Costanza. So if you guys log on to YouTube and get into the just search 1010XL and you can watch the YouTube
Gotta stay warm,
stream.
bro. Gotta stay warm.
Oh, believe me. And he has got he's what do they call it? The monochrome.
What did George say? If I could spend the rest of my life in velvet, I would.
Yeah, he would. Yeah. And who wouldn't? By the way, okay, who wouldn't soak themselves in velvet if they could? But Big Searcy's got a full sweatsuit ready to go.
Ready to go, baby.
He looks like an
January
Italian mafioso.
That's exactly what he looks like.
Dude, really?
Yeah.
You do. I love it.
I like it.
And we'll kind of go OG on you because they made switches. RJ is now handling a bunch of production and whatnot. And JJ, who normally was running the Frangie Show and the Blue Show, is now
Back.
XLP. Back is the OG, and then the Frangie Show to follow. So we got all sorts of stuff happening in 2025. Did everybody have a good time ringing it in?
I did. I had a great time.
Now, TLD asked if you were downtown.
I was.
Yeah.
I was downtown in the balcony smoking a cigar, having me a little brown water, watching the fireworks.
Yeah.
They ended a little early because, I put a timer on them from last year to this year. They ended about 7 minutes earlier.
Oh, really?
You timed them from last year to this
year? I sure did, absolutely. Because
Bro.
I did.
You're getting older.
I'm not getting older. I just want to make sure I got.
Old man move.
I want to make sure. I wanted to make
there,
sure
man.
I got. I got my entertainment in.
Well, it was funny because we walked down, and the great thing, like we were talking about this in the pre-show, the great thing about, like, if you can avoid, I call it amateur night, if you can avoid where all the crazies are out there and just go have you fun, like you and I were talking about on Tuesday, stay out of the fray, the late night fray where people get a little crazy. Anyway, we're a half mile from the beach, and so they set them off every New Year's Eve at St. Augustine Beach at the pier. So we could just walk out of our back gate, walk right down 16th Street. Sunset Grill was open, and we just sat there on the big lawn and watched them, and then walked right back home and kept it going after that. But still, that's the way to go. You stayed downtown.
Yeah, I stayed downtown.
And had a good time.
I had a great time.
All right. If you guys got any good stories from New Year's Eve, definitely hit us with them, 641-1010. But, Matt, we got to start with the college football playoff. We're definitely going to get into a handful of other things. But
Right, you didn't ask me what I did on New Year's Eve.
Oh, well, I figured you were working New Year's Eve
You didn't ask me about the fact that I was working till 5 in the morning.
Yeah. Now, look, the only reason I may not have asked you is because you went to Vegas and never saw the floor of a gambling.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you were working.
There was a lot going on. I was with Boise State. I was actually embedded with them for a few days, so I wrote an all-access piece, and I finished it like in the early morning hours of New Year's Day, like 5 a.m.
That's a long time.
Go look at it, USA Today. It's really cool, cool story. But I had a little break, and I went to go to Sedona, and it was just remarkable. I've been there so many. I've been to that actual bowl so many times, and I've gone to the Grand Canyon numerous times, but I never went to Sedona, and I finally did. It's only like an hour away.
Yeah, and you're talking, and so you're going into, is it like, describe Sedona, foothills?
Yeah, it's just it's rare rock formations and foothills, and it's like it's a unique part of the country that you have to see. You just have to see it.
Yeah, I'm
to understand it.
Yeah, Uncle Dave, when we were out there,
it's turned into like a resort place now too.
Oh yeah, look, if you talk about the towns around Phoenix, between Tempe, Scottsdale, and Phoenix downtown itself, that's a fun place.
By the way,
Glendale is growing, but it's more of a creation.
Scottsdale,
yeah,
driverless cabs now.
Yeah,
and it was freaking me out.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just like one or two.
That's wild.
They're all over the place.
So how do you carry on a conversation? You normally rely on a cabbie to give you a little bit of
I
intel.
hate that.
Bro,
I have no idea. Uber driver talks to me.
It was literally.
I don't ever want to talk to him.
It was Total Recall. It was freaking me out, man.
Yeah.
And at least with Total Recall, yet they had like the dummies. There was no one in the driver's seat.
I would never get in.
Oh my God! Put it this way: I just left Boise State. It was like, I don't know, like 6 o'clock. Like I think 2 days before.
Yeah.
And I was picking up something to eat, and this guy got dropped off in the parking lot of where I was. And I rolled down my window and I said, "Did you just get out of that driverless cab?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he had this look on his face like, "What did I just do?" And I go, "That's freaking me out." And he goes, "Oh, you have no idea."
Do you sit in the back or the passenger
The back.
seat?
Yeah.
I'd want to get in the passenger seat just so I'd be close.
You know that, right?
Bro.
Free will, bro. It's called free will.
I understand that.
You got
but
in.
believe me, it's something to like see it in a movie and you're like, "Oh, okay, that's fun." When you actually see it and you see them on the road driving past you and dropping someone off, it's another story, man.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
did they lock you in? You couldn't get out?
I don't
I'm
know.
trying
I
to-
didn't take it. I'm just saying.
I thought you went. Did you get one?
No, I did not get one. No,
okay. I thought you went. Yeah, because
no.
We got
And I
into
will not get one. How about that?
I don't blame you.
We jumped into an Uber because it was pouring rain, and TLD tried to get out, and the door wouldn't open. And then her mind accelerated to, "Oh my God, this is going to be a hatchet job. We're never getting out." But if you have been in a driverless cab, let us know. 641-1010. You can hit the text line. All right, so to the game, Matt, because you did celebrate New Year's Eve, and then obviously finished up that story. But look. I know where we are. I know what it is. It's not exactly what we want. There have been blowouts. It's not like there aren't blowouts first-round games in the NFL. We got to remind ourselves of that.
The average margin of victory in last year's first round in the NFL was 17 points, I believe.
And so it happens. It does happen, and we shouldn't be shocked by it. Thank God we had Arizona State charge back yesterday, which we will get into. But anyway, get into
I think both Arizona State and Boise State acquitted themselves. Boise State was down 3 points after missing a field goal, after turning the ball over 3 times and having 10 penalties.
They looked like
they had the ball driving late in the third quarter.
They looked like they were overwhelmed and then settled in.
It just Penn State finally turned the switch in the fourth quarter. So late in the third and then into the fourth. So I think Boise State acquitted themselves. I think Arizona State acquitted themselves. Clearly, the teams that did not, obviously, were Tennessee, Indiana, and SMU. Yeah. And I'm not saying, and when I say that, you have to understand.
And Oregon.
When I'm saying, no, I mean, Oregon didn't have to prove anything. Oregon beat Penn State, beat Ohio State, beat Boise State in the season.
Yeah.
3 of the top 7 seeds in the whole tournament.
The only thing they needed to prove last night is that they didn't suck.
Right, I get that. They didn't need to prove anything. But now when I say that, when I say who acquitted themselves and who didn't, that doesn't mean I think Alabama should have been in.
Right.
Because I've been saying from day one that I didn't think Alabama should have been in. I thought South Carolina or Ole Miss should have been in. Now, South Carolina, so we saw what happened. Illinois played a great game.
Yeah.
South Carolina got beat. No doubt about it.
Both Alabama and South
Alabama
Carolina
got beat as well, yeah. South Carolina got beat. I was very shocked by that. I thought South Carolina should have been in the tournament, okay? So I'm wrong there. But those other guys, Tennessee did not. Tennessee did not acquit itself.
No.
Indiana, as you all know, did not. And SMU did not. So, I mean, look, moving forward, you're going to have to figure out a way of how they tweak this thing. And it's the seeds. It's the way they do the automatic qualifying. It's all of that. They'll figure it out. This is the first year of it. They wanted specifically to not redo the 2026 format with the new contract until they saw a year of how it played out. So that's kind of what, I mean, in the game last night, my God, what a game.
Yeah.
What? I mean, Arizona State and Texas.
Great game. But I want to go back to what you talk about Oregon. They don't have nothing to prove in the regular season. That we give NFL teams, we give them the business every year. When the regular season shows up, they showcase their talent. But then when they get in the playoffs, they lay an egg.
No, what I was saying is they deserve to be in it.
Oh, yeah, they deserve to play.
Yeah,
but
I'm not saying.
But the regular season, yeah, they beat Penn State. They beat Ohio State.
3 of the top 7 teams in the tournament.
I know, but none of that matters when you get in the playoffs.
No, I agree with that.
Okay.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I was the guy who told you guys when the playoff first came out, I was like, all right, Ohio State's winning this thing. I'm telling you right now.
And they fell into a perfect spot. Penn State did as well, but number 8 just made number 1 look lousy.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, guess what Ohio State? Guess what Michigan fans are going to say if Ohio State wins it all?
Well, they can say whatever they want.
They're going to say we had a lot to do with it.
They can, well, I mean, that's
they course
because
corrected.
you even said it in the break that when Michigan beat Ohio State, they righted the ship.
Oh yeah, when that shook them.
And how about
when Michigan beat them? That shook them because they realized that they fell into the trap of let's show them we're physical. They kept running the ball between the tackles right into the one thing Michigan does better than anything: stop the run. Instead of we've got a guy named Jeremiah Smith on the outside who's the best player in the field every time we get on the field. Let's just chuck it to him.
Who would be a top 5 pick right now today?
Right.
In the name of Jeremiah Smith, my gosh, man.
Yeah, he's a grown man.
And
he's a grown man.
He basically, Babe Ruthed them. He went into the game saying, you better not single me up. You better not man cover me because I'm going to wear you guys out. He did. He didn't stop. And when they needed him, they just went to him. What an unbelievable performance. And when you think about the money that was spent, and we know how the NIL works, both Oregon and Ohio State spent money. And you could argue Oregon, I think NIL number-wise, spent more. Now, Ryan Day gets paid a lot more right now, at least than Dan Lanning. They went and bought Chip Kelly to come over and whatnot, and they spent a bunch of money in the NIL as well. But that was embarrassing. That was what do you think when you see something like that, Leon? Like we argued rust versus rest.
Yeah.
And we hadn't seen them in 20-some days, and they look like butt.
Well, you can't say what some of the fans were saying today. You could hear they're overrated. And Oregon's not overrated. They're rightfully and deservingly to be the number 1 team in the country. I just think Ohio State just jumped on them early. I mean, they set the tone from jump that this is not going to be easy today. I mean, when they went up 21-0, essentially I knew that game was over. It was over. They had no answer for it. They had no answer for Jeremiah. They had no answer for that defense. They had no offensive line. They ran the ball well. Will Howard, I mean, whatever Chip Kelly, I don't know, whatever he put together in those last 2 games we saw against Tennessee, it definitely was not what we saw against Michigan. So his play calling, his getting to Jeremiah Smith, and their ability to run the ball is what I saw destroy Oregon.
Well, they're also here's the undervalued thing about Ohio State is their defense is phenomenal.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah,
I mean,
Sawyer's
they're
making
front
money.
4. Well, they all are.
Yeah.
And Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
Oh,
my
KT
gosh,
and
yes.
Sawyer. I mean, Caleb's got another year.
Yeah.
So
Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Smith will be back for Ohio State.
Yeah,
They gotta be
those are
2
like
years
those
removed.
are like 2 top 5 picks right there. Those 2 guys.
Yeah, well, Jeremiah should go ahead and petition. The last guy that was wearing a Buckeye uniform was not successful, going all the way back to
The running back.
Yeah, I'm drawing Maurice Claret. I was drawing a blank on his name. Anyway, he was unsuccessful. This cat's ready. Okay, this is a Julio Jones, Andre Johnson. You can go on and on with the big 6'3" and 220-something.
That's who he said he models his game after.
I mean,
Andre Johnson.
I will say this. Penn State looks really good. There's no doubt about that. Penn State can't cover anybody, man. Boise State was throwing the ball all over them.
Yeah, and so
Now, and that was also because they were playing single high and they were trying to stop Genty, and I get that, all right? But I think the only defense that has a chance to slow down Ohio State is Georgia, but I'm not sure. Number one, I'm not sure Georgia's winning tonight, and number two, I'm not sure Georgia would beat Penn State.
Well, it's funny because we're going to talk about Georgia and Notre Dame, and our prayers and thoughts go out to what happened in New Orleans. What a tragedy! What a shame! The loss of human life. It's just disgusting what happened. And college football took a little while to make a decision, but did make the decision, and now it'll be played at 4:00 this afternoon. If there are any Bulldog fans that happen to have us on the app, text us at 641-1010 and let us know what it's like. Robbie Nabusi, I want to make sure I have his name right. He's one of the guys that covers Georgia. He's been around for a long time. And he said that he took a picture of an armored vehicle on Bourbon Street, or right at the corner of Bourbon Street, when he was leaving. He says, look, this is a picture. I'm walking home 2:30 in the morning. He said Bourbon Street was safe all night. He said there were cops everywhere, cops on horses. They had a lot of security and a good feeling. But obviously what happened, and it was just...
Yeah, you can't account for some lunatic.
No.
You can't.
No.
And a guy who's planned it out like he planned it
right,
out. Because
they were able to find other devices and defuse them and whatnot. So anyway, a salute to to the folks that were first responders there. But that's scary stuff. And so now they're going to go back this afternoon, and plenty of people had to stay over an extra night, and we'll see how many people are able to make it to the game. But we'll talk about the game coming up in just a bit. So if you guys want to jump in on CFP talk, we'll definitely do it today because we could shoot holes in a lot of things. I think one of the things I thought of more than anything else, instead of automatic C's, just automatic berths. And that's probably what we need to look at when it comes to conference champions, as opposed to giving a Boise State and an Arizona State and those teams a week off. Arizona State, man, they came charging back, Leon. Texas always has a way of inviting the other team back into the game. I don't know how. I don't know whether they
just
relaxed,
didn't want to win it, man.
Confident, and they still win it, but
didn't want to win it.
Oh my God!
So here's another thing. What was Arizona State doing zero blitz on 4th?
That was not advisable.
13 or whatever it was.
That was not advisable.
What are you doing? Just
Drop
sit
and
back
cover.
and force him to make a throw to beat you.
Yeah, that was unreal what they decided.
Scatterboo. I love
Scatterboo.
Scatterboo. He's the guy, bro.
I'm going to miss him.
I'm going to miss him, too.
Yeah.
He kept him in that game.
Yeah, but that
He single-handedly
that
kept him.
defensive call prevented us from seeing 4 more quarters of Scatterboo.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
And I predicted Sun Devils were going all the way to the championship, and I didn't like my chances in the first half. Loved my chances in the second half. The fact that the dude booted a 38-yarder off the goalpost was just unreal.
Well, what did you guys think about before they even got to that point? The non-targeting.
I didn't think it was target.
Oh,
I don't even know what it is. I'm not arguing.
First off,
against.
he didn't lower his head, which is what no one is talking about.
But he's a defenseless
He did not
receiver,
lower his head.
so it doesn't matter. I saw that if it's a defenseless
But he had already
player,
caught
it
the ball
doesn't
and
matter
turned.
about
How does
the
that
crown
make
of
him
your-
defenseless?
because he just barely caught the ball.
And he had turned.
Okay, but here we got to remember this, and we'll get into this a little bit more if you guys want to, because I'm not making the rule, because back in the day you could blow a guy up like that.
Well, first of all, none of us know the rule, all right?
Here's the other.
That's first off.
Yeah, we did read the rule. At least we'll go through it. But here's the other part of it. It's helmet to helmet, no matter whether he was targeting or
At
not.
the least.
At the very least. So let's get into that coming up. It's XL Primetime. I feel like 2025 deserves a Corona to get it going. JJ, do you have yours right now? Just since you're... Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much. Since you're back. All right,
Yes.
So let's get it going. We'll get into your Jags, 641-1010. They are looking at Anthony Richardson being under center again on Sunday, so we'll jump into all that coming up on XL Primetime.
Get inside the mind of the QB with Denny Thompson, the quarterback whisperer.
Yeah, I want to tell you what's really happening at the quarterback position.
He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey. Here in North Florida, you know that when temperatures go up and your AC goes out, you need help now. Like right now. Like lickety-split. So why not call Lickety Split and get same-day emergency service for your AC? Now, I bet you've seen their trucks all over town because they've got dozens of certified technicians ready to repair not only your AC, but your home's plumbing and electrical too. So when you want it done right and you need it done right now, call Lickety Split AC Plumbing and Electric.
Mia here for MyBookie. You have 6 huge college bowl games prior to the weekend and then more NFL bangers Saturday and Sunday. Let's talk motivation as the Browns travel to play the Ravens Saturday. Baltimore favored by 17.5. The Birds win the AFC North with a win, but a loss, and the Steelers win against Cincinnati would drop the Ravens to the 5 or the 6 seed. Baltimore should go all out against Cleveland, and it's parlay time. The spread is huge but doable, as is the over on the 42-point game total. Book it. Sunday Night Football, this game will determine who wins the NFC North and the 1 seed in the conference standings, as the Vikings are 2.5-point dogs at Detroit. Both teams will be going all out. The Lions may have a bit of a hangover after a tough win on Monday night. I'd take the Vikings and the points. Sign up now at MyBookie and still get a 50% deposit bonus. That's half your money back on your first deposit up to $1,000. Promo code 1010XL. Make yourself some cash with MyBookie.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-IHRS 777-4477.
Being an athlete means having a healthy desire to do as much as you can with your body for as long as you can. Gatorade has lower sugar, electrolyte-backed hydration options to keep you rehydrated and replenished. Gatorade, for every athlete.
From Gatorade Zero to Gatorade Endurance Formula and Gator Light, there's something for every athlete. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. It's a win-win. Gatorade, official partner of the NFL.
Bowl season brings the holiday feeling.
Deck the halls, deck the halls.
When you play 1010XL's Ultimate Bowl Challenge, you've got the chance to win $1,000 in jewelry from Beard's Diamonds. Log on to 1010XL.com and start picking.
Picking here with a message from Zero Res. Did you have people over for the holidays? Kids everywhere, dirt everywhere, all over the carpets, the rugs, the sofas, and chairs. Did the kitchen towel take a beating? Sounds like it's time to call my guys over at Zero Res. The Zero Res techs will get the house looking great again. Folks, if you need help cleaning up after the holiday, give Zero Res a call. Right now, 25% off carpet cleaning, 25% off upholstery cleaning. Zero Res. Spell it forwards. Zero Res. Spell it backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Mia here for Dreamfinders Homes. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now is your chance to lock down the rate and get in the game. You heard me right, a 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershome.com for more details.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Mia here. When it comes to roofing, whether it be shingles, metal, or most repairs, there is one name that has protected your home since 1999. Pro-Jax Roofing. Serving all of Northeast Florida, Mike and his guys have been repairing and replacing roofs for 25 years. Need insurance help? Mike's team can help. Raised in a military family, Mike provides great attention to detail with unparalleled quality and workmanship. They also have warranties, so you can have peace of mind. Call Mike today for a free estimate or online at projaxroofingfl.com.
Tailgate special alert. 3 pounds of marinated chicken, 2 pounds of marinated steak tips, 2 pounds of fresh ground beef, and 2 pounds of homemade sausage for only $80 to feed your crew.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
New and pre-owned firearms are always in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimbar, Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, and Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Levitt. That ball's intercepted. It is intercepted. Makuba seals it. Hook 'em horns. They're headed home to Texas to play in the Cotton Bowl. Texas advances. Makuba seals it. Now, that was the pick at the end of the ball game, and it went to double overtime. It didn't look like maybe as close as it was down the stretch because Texas, when they did strike, they turned right around, put a 2-pointer on the board. They didn't even wait until the next overtime. They just said, we're going to try and finish this bad boy, and then they immediately picked off the pass that was right there at the goal line. It was a thriller in a lot of ways, and I guess maybe Steve Sarkisian would have been second-guessed a ton for letting Arizona State back in that bad boy, or the kicker may have been crushed more than anybody. But what a game.
Speaking of Bert Auburn, by the way, who, they kept saying over and over, no one's hit more field goals in Texas history. Every time I've seen that guy in a big game, he's missed a field goal.
Like, quit saying
Every time.
Yeah, don't say that.
I cannot remember a time in a big moment in a big game where he's hit a field goal, honestly. Yeah. I know he hit a big field goal against, I think, Texas A&M. That didn't win the game. But that kid misses all the time in big situations.
What about the last miss where Sarkisian comes over there and he hugs him and embraces him? Gets
he was talking to him before the kick.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Was like
because Sark knows exactly what I was saying. That's why.
I just said
trying to.
I was saying to myself, this kid can't miss this field goal now. This coach has embraced him.
Yeah, he was trying to Frazier him. I'm listening.
It was like a 39-yarder, man.
Yeah, doink to the left.
Yeah, and D-Rock was one of many that put it on X. Don't ever talk to the kicker before the kick.
Oh, he should know better than that.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it was just it brought the theater to us that we wanted. That's for sure. And the fact that you had more Scatterboo coming your way, free football, you will always take it. But
Scatterboo with the flu.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Scatterboo playing with the flu.
He
had as good a individual performance as since Vince Young against USC.
Well, he was like their Gordy lock bomb there for a while, doing everything for him. And,
just phenomenal.
Yeah, and that type of game.
Christian McCaffrey type game.
Yeah, because he was a do-everything guy.
Yeah. He won MVP in the losing cause, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a touchdown pass. He had a touchdown 2, I think, rushing.
He made him some money this year.
And he projectile vomited 3 times, apparently, on the sideline during the game.
Was he a Sacramento State kid? I think he was. I think so. Anyway.
What do you mean, Sacramento State?
Did he play there before he transferred? I believe
he
was.
did.
Yeah, originally. I think originally.
My brother, born in Sacramento, celebrating his birthday today, so that made me think of it. But we were talking about whether he had any more eligibility left, whether he went JUCO at any point.
No, he's done.
His dad looks like his brother, by the way.
Yeah.
They showed his dad the entire broadcast, and he looks like he's 5 years older than him.
Yeah, not very much older looking at all. Young.
Did he have
pops.
a good day, you think, his dad?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
what a day, man. What a moment for him.
Yeah, it's just awesome all the way around. And like we said, we can fix a few things. We don't know exactly how much will be fixed right away because of the first week you had no game came down to more than a 2-score win for the teams. And the favorites, the chalk, was basically taking care of business. What will we get tonight? Not quite sure. At least Arizona State made it a game, not just cover. I mean, made it.
Wait, let's get back to the targeting, okay? Because I feel like you guys are all jumping and saying it's obviously targeting, and it's not obviously targeting. It's not, okay? And first off, there are rules of targeting, but it's also subjective. It's the subjective to who's looking at it. All right. I also can guarantee you, okay. The review official is not saying, "Oh, I don't want the SEC to get screwed here, so I'm not going to call a target." I mean, don't be ridiculous, people. That's not what it is. They saw the situation and didn't think it was targeting.
I just think officials,
he caught the ball.
Yeah.
He made a football move. Okay.
He look. Let me tell you something.
And
he barely took a breath.
Okay, listen, and you can look at this in slow mo. And see, there's the helmet to helmet.
That's how they do it all the time.
Then go full speed, and it's a tackle. It's a tackle.
No. At the worst, it's helmet to helmet, right? Yeah. You can say it wouldn't help.
Come on,
so those 2 helmets didn't hit. Are you telling me?
Of course they did.
All right, then.
How many times in college football the helmets hit and nothing is called?
I don't know. I don't have
every play.
I don't have the numbers.
But this much I do know is that guys are getting tossed left and right. I'm not a fan of the targeting and the judge, jury, and sentencer over there on the sidelines. But I do know one when he comes flying. In other words, his body elevates. And it is straight on. It's not necessarily the crown of the helmet.
Elevates to make the catch.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
No, I'm talking about the defender. Okay.
Taft's body did not elevate. He did not launch into him. That's another thing. It's not only helmet to helmet, it's you got to launch into him.
Well, no, that's not true. If it's a defenseless player, you don't have to launch or use the
but
crown.
He wasn't defenseless. That's my point. That's kind of my point. He wasn't defenseless. He caught the ball, hit the ground, and turned. He's not defenseless.
I'm glad it wasn't called. But I just think that nobody knows the rule, and
I would agree with that
we
completely.
should probably just get rid of the rule.
I don't know about that, but I agree with that.
Well, the NFL doesn't have it. They're fine.
Oh no, they do.
They do. They definitely do. They call it defensive player, defenseless player.
Okay.
Yeah. But I look. This is my whole point of it. Is the same guys on social media that were screaming about targeting. Had they made the call, they'd have been screaming that they took the game out of the player's hands.
I'm not even looking at what X is saying. I'm just simply looking at it like I don't like laundry to be all over the football field all the time. I don't like defensive players becoming more defenseless when it comes to these types of hits. But there are some that honestly look very obvious to me. And then I did see a couple of other ones. Like we said, flags shouldn't fly all the time. But I'm going to have to try and go back and remember the play. But I know I saw a guy leave the ground. In other words, he became a missile. He launched his body with head leading.
Taft did not leave the ground. Yeah. Watch the replay.
I know. I'm looking. So it's just...
He did not leave the ground. He did not launch into him.
We used to have somebody else that once you made up your mind, you were not going to be able to change their mind. But, like I'm just looking at it right now. Oh. Head goes up. Oh, that certainly looks like one to me. But anyway, in the officials, we're watching one of them in the back of the end zone. The official never moved. Okay, that there.
You're telling me he left the ground and launched into him. You're watching that right now, and you're telling me that. No, Joe, be honest.
Yeah.
You're telling me he left the ground and launched into him.
He did not leave the ground. His body was going up, is what I was saying.
Well, that's how you tackle, man.
Well, look.
He had both feet on the ground and grabbed him.
Yeah. He tackles. If you're talking about that's how you tackle, then you leave with your shoulder. You leave with your shoulder pad into an area below the head. That's at least that's how I played it. And that's how it was taught. And we see.
So, Joe, you're saying he had time to adjust.
What Joe didn't say there is, you're right, he didn't leave the ground. That's what Joe didn't say there.
Well, I actually did say that. I said, you're right, he didn't leave the ground. I'm just looking at him just blow him up right there head to head. Anyway, that was one big play.
It was a huge play.
Yeah, Kenny Dillingham.
A huge play.
Yeah, Kenny Dillingham even said, it goes, I can't comment on it. And so he didn't even go in on the officials or anything like that.
There's nothing to do about it. Yeah. There's no doubt it was a huge play.
Even Sark was like, I don't even know what targeting is. So he wasn't like defending his player at all. It was just like, we're at a weird spot in this sport.
And it's, look, I love Kenny. I think Kenny's one of the great young coaches, and I think the way he's coaching and the way he's building programs is what everybody should look at, how they should do it. But that's not the thing Kenny should be worried about. Kenny should be worried about his two coordinators. The offensive what's he throwing the ball to the goal line to a receiver who's like was second and third team? They had backup receivers in the whole game because they had injuries.
Yeah.
Get the ball in Scadaboo's hands.
Well,
that's number one. And then number two, more important.
Trust me on this. They kept handing it to Scadaboo so much where he was like flat.
I know he was
worn out.
I know he was. But my point is this. He's got it. That's your guy. That's your guy in overtime, okay? Yeah. That's number one. Number two, he at some point when he heard that defensive call, he had to say, we cannot zero blitz here. It's 4th and 13.
That he easily should.
Let's play coverage and force them to hit a call.
Yeah, I got no problem with that. Yeah. Look, there are sideline moments where you'd like to have them back, right?
Yeah. You always second guess yourself, especially when you come on the losing end of things.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Right. Yeah, and cover zero was a terrible idea.
Oh my God,
it was a really bad idea.
It's not only that; it's the way they did it too. It was like a middle blitz cover zero.
Mm-hmm.
So Texas just literally had a running back and 5 offensive linemen stand there and block them.
Right.
Like they didn't come off the edge. They didn't do anything like that. It was all like in one spot.
And he had such a clean pocket too.
Right.
They didn't get home at all.
Yeah. Even go back earlier, one of the 4th down opportunities, this was late 3rd, early 4th, if I remember right, where they go for 4th and goal and they hand it off to Scadaboo. That is a perfect time to play action and hit your tight end or hit somebody else because everyone in the building, everyone with eyes on the television knew it was going to be Scadaboo on 4th down. So at least a little bit of deception there might have helped them, might have served them. So there are probably calls you'd like to have back.
You mean on the interception?
No.
Oh, early in the game, he got stopped at like the 3-yard line.
They got stopped. No, this was 4th.
He got stopped for a loss. It was in the red zone. I remember what you're talking about. Yeah, they should.
He got hit pretty hard in the backfield, but still kind of like turned out of it. But he ended up still getting stopped.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could have taken the points there. The only thing I would say, Joe, is that kicker sucked too.
Oh yeah, he was
like that was the worst kicking game so far.
But you can't blame that because that was another guy who was a backup. They They've been terrible all year at kicker. He knew that going into the game.
I would have play actioned him is really what I would have done because everyone expected it to come from 4. And he was getting all eyes on him, too. That's for sure. All right, 641-1010. You guys can jump in on that subject. We'll keep it going. We got to get to a couple of other things. Beamer versus Beamer. Oh, my gosh. And you say bowls don't matter. Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. When it's Big Ten
real quick
versus the SEC.
How is his dad so beloved?
How is what?
How is Shane Beamer's dad so beloved in this sport, and he is seen as such a villain?
It's just it's sometimes I think maybe he has a little Mickelson in him. Okay,
he's got a little more than Mickelson in him.
Yeah, but he always wants to look like the most positive and most gregarious guy, and he's going to be the best recruiter and the best coach, and I think it may rub people the wrong way. It did me for a while. I've actually become where I like him a little bit more. But
so you guys are Team Bielema on this?
Well, I mean, he's like starting to fight, man.
I would say Bielema kind of started things.
It was kind of similar to like Mullen, actually, against Missouri. Very similar.
You were anti-Mullen. I was so Mullen in that situation.
But my point is, you can't. He does. Thank you. You can't do that, man. He's got to know better than that.
Let's set it up. Coming up in a second. It's XL Primetime, stuff that is left over from the college football bowl season and the college football playoffs.
If you're watching football this season, you know anything can happen. And on Hard Rock Bet, we mean anything. One fan in South Florida turned a $1 touchdown parlay into a $40,000 payday. Hard Rock Bet has parlays for days. With flex parlays, now you can even miss a few picks and still get paid. Parlays for every kind of play. Only on Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. When your first bet or get up to $100 back in bonus bets. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Divorce, menonly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to divorcemenonly.com. Divorcemenonly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Make a resolution this new year to send all of your friends or family a Kuhn Flowers floral arrangement. E.T. here with 1010XL. Okay, how about sending just one person you love a floral arrangement? Kuhn Flowers can handle it.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 2nd, 1965, the New York Jets sent future Pro Football Hall of Fame quarterback Joe Namath to a $427,000 contract.
After consulting with several orthopedic specialists about my constant knee pain, I chose Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and Dr. Chris Swanson to handle my surgery. Their professionalism let me know this team was the one for me. The surgery was very successful, and if I ever have a future need, I'll continue to trust Southeast Orthopedic Specialists to take care of me.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Barley and Pie Brewing Company in Fleming Island is excited to announce an all-new happy hour, 7 days a week. You heard right. Every day from 3 until 6 p.m. and again from 9 until close. Barley and Pie has deals you can't resist. 2-for-1 clay lights, 2-for-1 house wines, and much more. Experience the all-new happy hour at Barley and Pie Brewing Company in Fleming Island.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent you.
North Florida is growing with lots of new families joining our community. If you're one of them making the move here, your next move should be a call to American Electrical to create the best home automation system, enhancing your living experience. There are many ways your life can be made easier through smart home technology, voice-activated systems, automated lighting, total house temperature control. With American Electrical, they've got everything you need to automate your home and make it your true oasis. Check out American-Electrical.com, powered by professionalism and raising the excellence bar.
Hey, it's Mike Dempsey, and you know how I feel about Pella Windows and Doors. Great design, strongest warranties, and the highest quality products. I even chose Pella Windows for my own home. And whether you're a homeowner replacing windows or building a new home or a trade professional working with clients, I know the design experts at Pella will help your project run smoothly and look great. Visit PellaJacks.com or the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
How much do the performers for Super Bowl halftime shows get paid?
Filing an insurance claim following a storm shouldn't be an ordeal. Southern Oak Insurance's claim team prepares for catastrophic situations well in advance. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Super Bowl performers are not paid for their shows, but production costs are covered by the NFL, which could go as high as $15 million.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Cornerback Jarian Jones has showed plenty of promise in his rookie season. Racking up 5 tackles in last week's win against Tennessee, Jones wants to keep the momentum rolling and finish up with a strong Week 18 performance. Here's Jones from the locker room when asked if he feels there's anything that he needs to prove heading into his final game of the season against the Colts.
I don't think it's something to prove, but I just want to finish the year strong. You know what I'm saying? I just want to finish my rookie year strong. You know what I'm saying? I just want to put that finishing stamp on, you know what I'm saying, everything that's happened through the year. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever it is, I just want to put that stamp on the year and, you know what I'm saying, attack the offseason.
I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, protected by Preferred Roofing on 1010XL.
What a day, what a day. It's the beginning of 2025. Your work once again has started. I hope you had a great New Year's Eve, great New Year's Day. No incidents, just nothing but cheers to the beers and welcomed in the new year. Joe C., we've got Matty Hayes back from USA Today Sports Network out at, is it Tempe? Yeah, Tempe, Sun Devil Stadium. What's the name of that stadium?
Glendale.
Oh, it wasn't Glendale. I
Farm
should have known
Stadium,
that.
Joe.
Yeah, I should have known that. It's Glendale with the Fiesta Bowl. Big Searcy, as he once again welcomes back JJ by bringing lunch. Just an unbelievable gesture on his part. Yeah, love it.
I mean, you got to stop at some point, seriously.
He's not stopping.
In my belly!
All right, so
thank you, bro. It's just phenomenal.
It was so good. And so we've been talking college football. We got to get into the NFL because there are some games that right now you're thinking, if you're making picks, you're in a pigskin pick'em like I am, you're going to say Eagles over Giants. That's a no-brainer. But they may be sitting a lot of their players. So we'll get into that coming up. But let's do the Bielema versus Beamer. And let's just set this up, Matt, because we all joke about these bowls are meaningless. Well, there's still some pride. There's still some conference back and forth, and there's some coaching back and forth that's taking place between these two. Brett Bielema, he of Illinois, Shane Beamer, he of Cocky, and they don't like one another, and they don't like one another even more now.
Yeah, it's
I love it.
JJ has an interesting theory. Mm-hmm. You know what, JJ? Tell us your theory, and then we'll get into it.
Do we play the sound first?
I'll play the sound right after.
Okay.
But my theory is, like, these guys were going at it the entire game.
Yeah, they were. Yep.
Total game.
And it started, Beamer will say in a second, but there was something that happened on the kickoff, and Bielema was like, that's against the rules, whatever. He was getting into it with the refs, and Beamer was like, hey, we talked to the refs about it. So obviously this was going on from the get. And then throughout the game, Bielema was using, like, the dark arts, gamesmanship, tactics we see all the time in college football when it comes to substitutions.
Yeah. And so basically waiting till right at the last second to sub a guy in. You've got your 40-second clock or whatever it is, 35 seconds.
Or your big DL just takes his time getting off the field.
Yeah.
Or a guy that might be hurt goes down.
Right.
He was doing a lot of that
The dark
stuff
arts,
to annoy the other coach and Beamer. So when he had the opportunity, so Beamer's like chewing him out the whole game. He's yelling at the refs the whole game. So he goes over to the sideline as his player's hurt. Looks right
is near the South Carolina sideline.
It was like 5 yards away from South Carolina's bench. And he looks right at Beamer and the other coaches, and he does the substitution, which is both arms outstretched with your hands down. Like, he does it like twice. He makes sure Beamer sees him do it.
Well, the first time it was the actual substitution. Then the second was like, you're such a...
I thought he was just jawing at him, but now JJ may be right. He might have been doing the substitution.
So this is what Beamer said, and then I'll let you guys talk about it.
In all my years of being around football, I've never seen an opposing head coach come over to the opposing team's sideline and basically make a gesture towards the opposing head coach. And I think he was upset about something that we did on the kickoff return in regards to Juju on the throwback to Nick Harbor. But I would say he needs to check the rule book because that's something that we cleared with the officials before the game. So disappointing. He got a lot of respect for him. He's obviously done this for a long time, but in all my years of coaching, I've never seen that happen, David.
Well, he clearly didn't watch the Florida-Missouri game when Dan Mullen sprinted to the other sideline and was screaming at Eli.
Well, I do love when they go in all my years because you've seen it,
right? Of course.
And then when Shane goes, when the other coach made a gesture. Now, normally the gesture you would think, okay, what kind of gesture are you talking about? A double Bud Adams,
right.
with the one finger salute. No, it was just his hands up with the substitution.
Yeah,
which is what he was doing.
He was like it was a lot worse of a gesture.
He was also that's what he was doing was giving him the double shotgun by doing that. That's what
total
he was doing.
troll.
He was trying to whip him into a frenzy. Yeah, and then Shane gets all fired up.
And then Shane goes all Shane.
Now, Leon, when you saw both teams on the field,
why would you give him the time of day? Why would you even entertain that kind of foolishness? The fact that he went.
That means I'm winning. Is how.
Yeah, exactly. The fact that he went all bonanza on him on the sideline, you gave him exactly what he wanted.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give him the time of day.
He did give him what he wanted because the rest of the game, Bielema is on his sideline with the biggest smile on his face.
Oh, yeah. He pulled him right
just
into
laughing.
it.
And, of course, they end up winning the game.
And the dub, right. Yeah. And I also think Bielema knew that was in the second half. I think Bielema knew, number one, he's got an offensive line that's wearing them down, all right? And number two, he knew he was going to win the game. Mm-hmm. So he was smiling, like JJ said. He knew he had control of the game.
Actually took the lead after that.
Right.
But Illinois, their running attack was awesome. And then
they couldn't stop them, man. Well, they controlled the game.
The worst thing is that South Carolina was chirpy, okay? Cocky was, he was trying to make noise saying we need to be in this college football playoff. Well, they end up losing that game. Alabama and South Carolina should be embarrassed because they both dropped games. Was Alabama in the 17. This is the
third game this season. So third game in the Kalen DeBoer era that Alabama has lost as a 17-plus point favorite. And this stat is from Hayes Carline. Thank you very much. I don't know how many wins Saban had as the 17.5-plus point favorite, but he only had 3 losses in his entire time at Alabama. So Kalen DeBoer has already matched that.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's kind of like Billy Napier matching what Spurrier had done in his entire time in Gainesville.
Right. So they were 9-4. Okay. How many? Think about this. Think back this year. How many times the look on Kalen DeBoer's face in the Michigan game, which was just I don't know if it's exasperation or what the hell am I doing here. All of it rolled into one. How many times did you see that over the course of this season? That look on his face.
Quite a bit.
Right? I mean, like 50 times, easy, right?
Quite a bit. And basically, I like the way you described it. I'm suddenly uncomfortable in my crimson right now.
Yes. What the hell am I doing here?
Yeah,
yes.
And will they wash me out with the tide? Will they get rid of me before I can even get comfortable here? And he doesn't coach defense. That's the other part of this thing right now that is probably driving Nick and Bama.
Yeah, he seems a little bit overwhelmed. I can't remember when was the last time Alabama lost 4 games. Had to be before maybe Nick's first year.
It was Nick's first year.
Yeah,
Nick's first year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so when you do that, and by the way, it's not like Nick didn't hand him off a pretty damn good team with a proven budding star in Jalen Milroe at quarterback. My gosh.
Well, it's also, I mean, I always say you get what you deserve.
Mm-hmm.
He hired Kane Womack as his DC.
Well, that is probably that alone.
I mean, you got to hire, if you're at that level of college football, you got to hire a guy that is an elite DC.
Especially if that's not the side of the ball you're going to pay attention to.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. Caleb is an offensive guy. You got to hire some. I wouldn't be surprised if he fires Kane Womack. He may not. Mm-hmm. He may keep him, and he may think it's the players. They got to get used to us, blah, blah, blah. Man, you got to get a bulldog on that side of the ball.
Yeah.
Billy Napier has to get a bulldog on that side of the ball.
Yeah. And maybe a play caller, too.
If you want to be that type of elite program, if you want to move to that, you got to get someone that knows what he's doing on that side of the ball.
Well, he's got to chin check himself, too. Milrose was terrible in that game. Cost himself some money. Inaccurate.
Yeah.
He's coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, where's he going to go? That's another thing, too.
He has to come back.
That's another thing, too. There was the big news about Kay Klubnik's coming back. Where's he going?
I mean, he has a higher ceiling in the NFL right now than Milroe.
Does he?
Yes.
Come on, you've watched him play in big games. Does he?
Yeah, I saw him play great last week against Texas.
I mean, he was all right. It's just
I'm not a Klubnik guy, but I mean Milroe sucks too.
He does. I'm not disagreeing. No, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. That's kind of my point. Is everybody keeps saying these guys are coming back? Where are they going?
Well, no. I think what it is that they might have a future. They could cash a $500,000 check and start getting service, or actually it's $800,000. I take that back. $500,000. So 90s, Leon.
I know.
But they make a minimum of 800 plus if they make a roster, and they start their contract clock. And so
that's a pay cut for Jalen Milroe.
I was about to say he's probably making like $4 million.
Right. Well, I don't know if it's that much, but I do want to make that point is that you start your contract clock. Yes, it's less money, but it's also a contract that gets you going, years of service and all that kind of stuff. Well, and if we are talking about Kate Klubnik has done really nothing to warm the hearts of Clemson fans to say, hey, we want to pay you even more to come back and play this position. And Jalen Milroe is still promising, I would say.
$800,000 is DJU money.
Yeah, exactly. Which was not even a good spin.
No, it wasn't a good spin.
Now, what about Ewers, Matt? I mean, he's a guy who he could get $6 million allegedly to come back next year because you think Arch is probably going to be the guy at Texas. So do you think he stays? Do you think he goes?
No, I think he goes. He's going to get picked like probably in the second round, early second round.
Okay.
I mean, you guys,
$6 million is
not you guys.
I'm saying,
I'm saying you, the collective you, is taking this. He played well in that game. Like he made some big throws in that game.
Okay.
Talking about yesterday?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But no one is knocking down doors to get to Quinn Ewers and get him on the draft board.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't agree with that. That he will be picked in the first, I bet, in the first 50 picks, 45 picks.
You see that over there?
Yeah, I'll bet you on that.
That's what we got.
I'll bet you on that.
Okay, first 45,
50?
he said.
First 50 picks.
First 50?
Oh, he just changed it to 50.
Yeah, give me a little wiggle room. First 50.
All right, we're in.
You want to do a dime bet on that?
I'm just showing you.
I'm writing it down right now.
All right. You see it right over there?
First 50.
I don't know about first 50. He might go like 45 or something like that. I'm not sure.
All right, I'm in. I'm in by myself.
Yeah, you're in by yourself.
Okay, well, even if he is a second-round pick, I mean, that's a huge pay cut from $6 million to play for Notre Dame or Miami or whoever.
Very true. But
who's going to give him $6
That was the rumor. That was the rumor before the game yesterday. He's allegedly there's $6 million out there to go into the transfer portal and play for somebody else.
By the way, just a quick sidebar to that. There are brokers out there. When they lay their head on the bed, they look up at the sky, they go, I'm a broker. I'm going to make a deal. I'm going to go talk to this side, and I'm going to go take the offer back to the other side. And nobody even knows who this broker is.
So is he going to go? So you're telling me he's going to go back to Ohio State?
Yeah.
Once we'll
No. We're talking Quinn Ewers to Miami.
To Miami now. Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm saying that there are people that lay their head on the bed that think they can go orchestrate a deal on both sides.
Oh, yeah.
And they put the word out that they're doing this. And then everyone takes it on social media and says he's getting offered $6 million when this guy is just making this stuff up, trying to get two sides to come together.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Maybe he goes to USC.
You never know. And look, the movement of these players should not shock any of us. But
maybe he goes to Georgia.
Imagine that.
Not impossible. Not impossible. But right now, you got him going 45th in the National Football League draft.
50th.
49th.
Okay, 50th. All right. Let's head into the 1 o'clock hour. Work some Jag talk in. Anthony Richardson is still being asked why he didn't play last week. He was talking about back spasms. We'll get into all that coming up. Jacksonville versus Indy as you finish out the regular season. How you feeling? How much do you want that dub up there in Indianapolis? Doug Peterson definitely wants it. We'll get into it on XL Primetime.
Jags head coach Doug Peterson tells you what you need to know about Sunday's game.
They believe in themselves. They believe in his team.
Fridays at 4:05 on The Franchi Show. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Mia here for MyBookie. You have 6 huge college bowl games prior to the weekend and then more NFL bangers Saturday and Sunday. Let's talk motivation as the Browns travel to play the Ravens Saturday. Baltimore favored by 17.5. The Birds win the AFC North with a win, but a loss, and the Steelers win against Cincinnati would drop the Ravens to the 5 or the 6 seed. Baltimore should go all out against Cleveland, and it's parlay time. The spread is huge but doable, as is the over on the 42-point game total. Book it. Sunday Night Football, this game will determine who wins the NFC North and the 1 seed in the conference standings, as the Vikings are 2.5-point dogs at Detroit. Both teams will be going all out. The Lions may have a bit of a hangover after a tough win on Monday night. I'd take the Vikings and the points. Sign up now at MyBookie and still get a 50% deposit bonus. That's half your money back on your first deposit up to $1,000. Promo code 1010XL. Make yourself some cash with MyBookie.
Don't ignore plumbing leaks. They can lead to mold and mildew or structural damage and drain your wallet. So when you have a leak and can't wait a week, call Roland Reich Plumbing. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
Learn the secrets to bring your A game on the Edwin Watts Golf Hour.
Yeah, well, you really crushed that ball off the tee, I'll tell you what.
Learn the latest on new equipment from all the major manufacturers on the Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Saturday morning at 10 on 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
The Florida Forum Speaker Series welcomes New York Times bestselling author Deepak Chopra, moderated by Shad Khan, January 15th. For your chance to win tickets, text FORUM to the text line covered by Lifetime Flooring at 641-1010.
Frank Franzi here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
This is Hayes Carline for Kingfish Pest Control. Are you tired of spiders, ants, roaches, or other pests invading your home turf? Call the winning team at Kingfish Pest Control. I can tell you from my own experience, Kingfish will sack mosquitoes, tackle rodents, and intercept termites before they can blitz into your home. And right now, score 20% off your new pest control service when you start during the 2024 football season. Save big and defend your home with Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hicken here for Bout 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bout 9. Visit Bout 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bout 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Tailgate special alert. 3 pounds of marinated chicken, 2 pounds of marinated steak tips, 2 pounds of fresh ground beef, and 2 pounds of homemade sausage for only $80 to feed your crew.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
New and pre-owned firearms are always in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimbar, Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, and Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Mia here. Since 1982, Closets by Design has specialized in creating dream spaces for every budget. My designer, Frances, made the process so easy. She came to my house and designed a walk-in closet that's not only beautiful, but incredibly functional for me and Bo Valentine. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation at 800-293-3744 or visit closetsbydesign.com. And be sure to check out their end-of-year sale, including 18-month special financing. Closets by Design.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by Kuhn Flowers. Following the tragedy that took place in New Orleans, the college football playoff quarterfinal at the Sugar Bowl has been postponed to this afternoon at 4 o'clock between the number 7 Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the number 2 Georgia Bulldogs. Ahead of the matchup, Bulldogs head coach Kirby Smart previewed the game and spoke highly on Notre Dame's size and toughness.
They're big, and that's what it starts with in the SEC. The line of scrimmages have to have size and girth because you have to take on these teams week in and week out that have great size. Notre Dame's built that way. They're built that way on paper. What you see on the tape speaks louder than the paper does. You see how they play, the toughness they play with. They're built like an SEC team, and I say that as a huge compliment because I think those rosters are some of the most talented in the country, and Notre Dame's built that way, probably more on the side of physicality.
This afternoon, the Bulldogs and Fighting Irish at the Sugar Bowl kick off at 4 o'clock. It's 59 degrees at 1 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
All right, let's see here. Tankathon.com.
Do we have to get into this now?
Tankathon.
We were having so much fun with college football.
.com. We were, by the way.
We got to go back to this depressing subject. All right, let's get into it.
Yeah, there was a texter that did ask the question: was Texas paying Quinn Ewers $6 million to leave? Quite possible. Quite possible.
Come on,
because
he played well in that game, man.
Listen, I want to look back at the career of Arch Manning. If Quinn Ewers were to come back to Texas and Arch sit one more year as the best Manning that ever came out of
Well, that's not happening.
I know.
Quinn's not coming back, and if he did,
yeah.
Arch would not stay there. There's no way.
Yeah, I know, but it's kind of comical that he's been talk about the NIL and not taking any punishment. Arch he's had it made. He sat back and collected cash and he's had to occasionally go in and try and a little quarterback scamper for 8 yards or maybe minus 8 yards, and then went right back to the bench.
Right, but for all you guys like clamoring for Arch, we saw Arch against Georgia. And about 10 minutes later, we saw Arch sitting next to Ewers on the bench, both of them deer in the headlights look in their face.
Yeah, both of them got their butts beat that day.
Both of them were like, I just saw the boogeyman.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not clamoring to see Arch. I do think it's comical, though, that he is making money with NIL just sitting on the sideline.
He's not the only one.
Oh, yeah.
He's getting paid on potential.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
How much money do you think Austin Simmons is making to sit on the bench at Ole Miss?
Yeah, but I think
who's going to be great, by the way.
Yeah,
he's going to be great.
Yeah, when they see him, and Nico sat for a full year making whatever the amount of money he was making. But it's just like right now, all of a sudden, Carson Beck, I believe, is the only player to accept NIL money the way George is looking at this thing, because they have just everyone on X has trolled Carson Beck and loved Gunnar Stockton for being such a teammate, a good teammate.
Why are they trolling Carson?
I have no idea.
Because he got NIL money?
Yeah, because he's the Lamborghini
because
driving.
He stayed in college football?
Flying,
and he's dating,
he's dating a hot
wait, so let me get this straight. So he stayed to play at Georgia.
Believe me, I love it.
And the Georgia fans are trolling him.
Yeah. I wouldn't even say, all right, I shouldn't say all of Georgia, because if you look at it, there's still some Georgia love for him because of what he was able to do and made that basically that last play for them to win. It was just a handoff, but he came back in the game. And there are definitely some that support him, but there are a bunch that have jumped on the Gunner. I heard Joey Galloway yesterday say that Gunnar Stockton, he was highly recruited, expects him to come right in and play just as well as any other quarterback in this big situation. Are you kidding me? What have we seen to know that?
So he's been being trolled for being loyal to fans, losing the SEC championship, coming back and trying to win a national championship.
Yeah.
So that's why he's.
I'm pretty sure he's the only one who's ever accepted NIL. All right.
By the way, Quinn averaged 10.2 yards per attempt in that game against Arizona State. They're for 322 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
He had a good game, man.
Oh yeah, he really did. I'm not ripping Quinn Ewers, the college quarterback. I'm just looking at the potential of him being how highly drafted will he be and how successful will he be in the NFL.
He's still auditioning.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Very much so.
Yeah, and if I've learned anything, Duck Bow, much better than War Eagle Bow, pretty dang good in the National Football League.
And when did you think Duck Bow was going to get drafted?
I thought he was probably first 45.
Right. Oh, and by the way, just as
12.
Just as a quick aside, during the break, and we should pay to allow people to watch us during the break.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Oh yeah.
We should sell that. So I told you guys I looked up Quinn Ewers in his draft prospectus. So CBS has him as the number 4 quarterback being selected and the number 53 overall.
So we got a good bet. Is whether he'll go top 50 or not.
I was literally 3 spots off there.
Yeah, is whether he'll go top 50 or not. We got us the decent bet, or top 45. You said.
No, you gave me 50.
Okay,
you gave me 50.
All right.
Man.
But the other thing is that
Leon laughed.
That's why I didn't take that bet. I didn't take it.
The other thing is right now there are a lot of players that are much higher rated now than they will be by the time we get to April.
Right,
and we see how that
he
works.
also will. His stock will go because of the combine too.
Mm-hmm.
He's physically what they want. He's a very accurate thrower. His stock's going to increase too.
Yeah, I'm not bagging on him, like I said, as a good college quarterback. I'm curious as to whether he'll be successful on the next level. All right, we need to get to a couple of NFL things. Saquon Barkley not playing, and the Philadelphia Eagles basically don't gain anything by playing Week 17. They can't get to the number 1 seed. They don't they know where they are and that they're the NFC East champs. So why would you play your guys? Well, the only reason would have been Saquon going for for the Eric Dickerson rushing record over 2,000 yards already, 100 yards shy of the Dickerson landmark number. But he made the decision, along with his team, not to play. Here's Saquon on this subject.
My reaction was kind of like I told my family. Obviously, my family, probably wanted a little bit more than me. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is winning football games and winning the playoffs. So I got a bigger goal in mind anyway. I mean, he asked me if I wanted to play, if I want to go for it. I said on Sunday, I probably didn't care too much for it. When I slept on it, it was like it was an opportunity to implant my name in football history. May never get another opportunity like that again. So I'm down, but at the end of the day, I don't care for putting the team at risk. He's the head coach for a reason. He makes the decisions, and whatever decision he wanted to make, I let him know if you want me to play, I'm going to go out there and make sure I get it. And if we don't, I'm okay with that too.
See, the coach asked the wrong people. He asked the wrong people. I'm for real. He did ask the wrong people. You need to ask the offensive line. All right? That's what you speak. This is bigger than Saquon. The offensive line is partly the reason why Saquon is where he is right now. That front five.
True.
Providing the holes, coming off double teams, getting to the second level so he can, he's an extraordinary athlete, absolutely. So he had a little bit to do with it. But if you're the offensive line, you want the record. I mean, if I'm on that offensive line, I'm sure they've had a meeting. They say, listen, give us a half, coach.
Right.
At least you got.
I would have liked
because
that.
You remember it. Listen, I remember where I was when Barry Foster's broke the Pittsburgh Steelers rushing record. I was there. I was on the field. Meant a lot to me. Now it's been eclipsed by Jerome Bettis years to come. But I remember when I remember where I was when James Stewart broke the Jaguar record with 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I was on the field.
Massive.
I'm offensive lineman. I remember that kind of stuff. You don't think that offensive lineman is going to remember the fact that they were a part of history? Where I was on the field with this great athlete, this great running back, and we smashed. Well, not smashed.
Right.
Well, I broke Eric Dickerson's records.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to remember that 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road.
And the other thing is just this last game, he broke off big plays.
Yes.
And so it's not, we're talking big chunk plays. So it's not like he needed to grind out 40, let's just say 30 carries to get to 100.
And stop telling me, maybe he get hurt. He could have got hurt 16 weeks ago.
Sure. Absolutely.
He played 16 weeks, and now you say, don't get it. You don't want to play him an extra game because he got hurt. Well, what about the other 16 games that he played?
Now, as well as I do how valuable that week of rest would be with no bye week. And so I do understand what they're trying to accomplish is that the playoffs, they're more important.
Yeah.
That's an individual record versus a team goal.
Yeah, but think about the momentum you have. If you break that record, you're going into the playoffs. You have to play. You got momentum.
Yeah.
I just mean.
I like that part of it because Dan Campbell said Monday night there was nothing to play for. In other words, they could have lost that game and still gotten the number 1 seed because they would have been a game behind Minnesota, but then they would have beat them for the division, and then they would have gotten the number 1 seed.
Well, see, that game against 49ers meant that was from last year.
Yeah,
that was from bouncing.
That was a little payback.
That was a little payback. That was from last year bouncing us out of the championship game.
Yeah.
So they wanted that one.
Yeah, and I loved it. That's for sure. I was on the winning side of several bets on that one, so I was very happy.
Shocking.
About that.
That's why you like it.
Please do not tank this game, please. All right. Now, will Aaron Rodgers tank this last week? They are going up against Miami. Miami already knows Tua's not going to play, but is Ron going to play? Now, Tyrod Taylor was in at the end against the Buffalo Bills this last week, and Buffalo smoked them in the end. It was slow start, slow scoring game for a little while. But Keyshawn, former number 1 overall pick to the New York Football Jets, went in on Aaron Rodgers.
You was 112 yards, 2 interceptions. You was sacked a bunch, and it was 33-0 or whatever it was. You decided to take your ball and go home because you wasn't getting your way.
Well, he did stay on the sideline, so he was nice enough to do that.
What's the difference between him and the dude in San Francisco? You quit on your team, man.
Whoa.
I'm not going to be nice to Aaron Rodgers like that.
You the one who wanted him to come back next year.
I did. I saw that.
I'm saying.
No, I thought he was on a mission to convince them that he should come back. Based on what he did yesterday, I don't want to be nowhere near him. If I'm on this team.
And that's Keyshawn. Basically, he had his own horror stories about commitment and all that kind of stuff at times during his career, but getting on Aaron Rodgers pretty big right there.
Yeah, that's big time right there. Yeah, Aaron did fold the tent. I mean, there was no need for him to really be out there and get smashed the way he was getting smashed.
Right.
I mean, the protection was breaking down. Offense, they couldn't run the ball. The protection was breaking down. He was getting hit. At some particular time, when you old like that, Aaron Rodgers, man, you're like, the hell with this, man.
When you're old,
I'm for real. The hell with this, man. I don't blame him. And especially if you ain't getting the protection you need up front, if you constantly getting hit,
right,
and get from the side to back and all that kind of stuff, man.
And now he is trying to sell the idea that he would like to come back. And I understand what he's saying. He goes, well, I want him to come back, but now I don't. And so back and forth they go. And I totally get it. Now, your Jaguars, real quick, do you want them to win this football game? Because we were just looking at tankathon.com as far as where they are. We had a texter ask the question, how much potentially could they drop? Basically, you have 4 3-win teams. You have 5 4-win teams. And so when we look at the schedule, the possibilities are out there, of course, that it could go against them depending on the other teams and what they decide to do. Patriots are going up against the Bills. Bills are a 2.5-point pick, but they really don't improve their spot that much. So that may mean if they decide to rest some guys maybe in the second half of that game or however they choose to do it, then New England could potentially win that game and move up.
Well, could they lose a spot?
Move back in the draft.
Could they lose the spot in the playoff format? The Bills, if they lose.
I don't believe so. That's what I'll try and check here in just a second because we were looking at who has what to gain. And I don't believe the Bills can change their position. The Ravens obviously have something to play for. They need to win the division. And then Pittsburgh has something to play for, even if Baltimore wins, because they'd rather have a higher wild card and potentially face Houston than have to go play Baltimore.
Right.
And so there's a lot of things that are in on that side. So we'll look at the rest of them as far as the ones that are around Jacksonville. But the Patriots could influence them. The Titans, who are playing Houston supposedly resting a lot of their players.
Where are they now?
Could influence them. They're 5th.
5th right now.
I believe 5th right now. That's what Tankathon has them at. And so we'll see whether or not they feel like it's huge importance to win this game. We'll play Doug Peterson's soundbite coming up here in just a bit where he's obviously selling the idea. As a matter of fact, I heard him convince me that this was not a 5-win team. This was basically a 5-loss team. It's as good as he was talking about them. So we'll make sure that we get that soundbite coming up in just a little bit. All right, it's XL Primetime, rocking and rolling. We go early today. You got the Franchi Show going early, 2 to 4, and then Jaguars programming with JP and Logs and the Coaches Show coming up a little bit later on the Superstation.
Spend 2 hours talking teal every day on Jaguars Today. With Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
Open enrollment is here, so it's time to secure health coverage for your family. Whether you need Affordable Care Act plans, dental, or Medicare, visit one of the Florida Blue pop-up enrollment tents near you. They make the process easy and stress-free, with medical and dental insurance you can count on. Plus, listen to this. Based on eligibility, many people pay absolutely nothing for coverage. Find a pop-up tent in the Rose parking lot on Beach Boulevard near Southside and at Night of Wonders at the Orange Park Mall. Here's a reminder for Florida Blue members. You can access Sanitas Medical Center with 3 locations around town offering primary care, walk-in services, an on-site pharmacy, and mental health support. 3 Sanitas Medical Centers and 2 convenient Florida Blue pop-up enrollment sites combined for a winning team in Northeast Florida insurance coverage.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm dedicated to helping businesses manage risk, maximize opportunities, and move their company forward. Jimerson Burr attorneys are business-oriented lawyers, equally comfortable as community leaders, private transaction counselors, or courtroom advocates. If you have a legal issue of any kind affecting your business, contact the firm at 389-0050 or jimersonfirm.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with PrizePicks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. The app is really simple to use. Pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projection, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. is available to play in more than 40-plus states, including California and Texas. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30-plus million in rewards during Pickmas. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code JAX and get $50 instantly when you play 5. That's code JAX on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play 5. You don't even need to win to receive a $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
Find out why soccer is the most popular game in the world and spreading fast on the First Coast.
On the Sporty Jack Soccer Hour.
Join Cole Pepper, Mauricio Ruiz, and Becky Burley as they discuss the latest in the world of soccer.
Tuesday nights at 6
on 1010 a.m.
If you've played sports or still lead an active life, chances are joint pain is nothing new. This is Dr. George Barry of Barry Orthopedics, and we like to be your option when it comes to taking care of your body and getting back in the game. From shoulders to elbows to hip and knee pain, Barry Orthopedics can diagnose and treat a variety of injuries that are causing you pain. We are Barry Orthopedics and online at barryorthopedics.com. With more than 30 years of experience, our team is here to care for your entire family.
Find out more at barryorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com. Bud Light and everyone at Anheuser-Busch want to remind you to get home safely every time. People are counting on you on the road and at home. Plan ahead with safe rides and don't forget to hydrate between beers. Bud Light encourages everyone to enjoy responsibly and socialize safely.
Jacksonville contractors and business owners. Do you need chain link fence, commercial steel, or rolling doors? Frank Franchi here. Coyle & Sons has been in business in Jacksonville since 1927. They've earned the reputation of quality and specialized skill. Coyle & Sons are the ones trusted in Jacksonville by the top contractors, and they can stand on their reputation when you need almost 100 years of commercial contractor experience. So contact Coyle & Sons today. That's 904-356-4821 or visit them at coiljacks.com.
Jeff Lagerman here. Now that football season is here, make sure your ride can get to that tailgate or away game safely and dependably. You can trust the ASE certified professionals at any of the 27 independently owned Napa Auto Care Centers and the quality Napa parts they use. Napa Auto Care Centers can handle everything: oil changes, air conditioning, brakes, engines, transmissions, and more. Napa Auto Care offers a nationwide 24-month, 24,000-mile peace of mind warranty on most repairs. Find a Napa Auto Care Center near you. JacksNapaAutoCareGroup.com.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Our next guest is not affiliated with the NFL or Jacksonville Jaguars.
Discussion of injuries is solely based on opinion.
Now, the Barry Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Injury Breakdown.
I'm coming in hot.
We love seeing Gio in the building. Dr. George Barry, fellowship trained under the renowned Dr. James Andrews. I normally say he comes in with scrubs on. He's ready to save people and make people. But today, Gio, how you doing, man?
Good.
You're just all cash. You got a little bit of Tony from Seinfeld look to you today. A rock climber.
He does look like Tony, doesn't he?
A little bit of a rock climber, and you're rocking the old Jaguar Prowler hoodie. So I like that.
He does look like Tony.
He does.
Hey, Tony!
Yeah. Step off, George. Step off. Okay. All right. So if you guys have any sports injury questions, our man can handle it. 641-1010. Hit the text line. Designed by Lifetime Enclosures. And give us an idea of sports injuries. Now, we were talking about a handful of guys that are going to have a bit of rest, and we go into playoff kind of mode, Gio. I know Jacksonville doesn't have a lot to do with this right now, unfortunately, but just from an orthopedic point of view, you're a team doctor at Edwaters. How valuable, and I'm going to ask Leon the same question, how valuable is a week of rest for the body just to repair itself?
Oh, I mean, and Leon will attest to it. I think it's tremendous value, especially in a sport like football where you're just constantly getting beat up, right?
Right.
Every single game. I think 1 week is definitely great. Then, they always talk about if it's longer than that, is that too long? But I think 1 week is phenomenal for everyone to get. I don't think it puts any rust on you.
Like you played basically 16 game schedules over a 17-week period.
Yeah.
And then I know you had to have a bye week.
Yeah, you had to. Well, listen, let me just say this. I've been the number 1 seed 4 times, and I've never reached the Super Bowl as a 1 seed. So you can say you get rest all you want, but I went to the Super Bowl as a 2 seed where we played the next week. So I mean, if you're on a nice little roll, sometimes you like to keep playing, but it just varies with teams. If you can get that bye, if you can get that extra rest, you get that extra treatment and all that kind of stuff, it is valuable to most teams. I'm just saying my success rate is not good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Oregon got the bye, L. ASU got the bye, L.
Yeah.
Boise State got the bye, L.
Well, they may not have been as good as the other team either to start with. They were higher seeded, but they may not have been as good.
Say that. I mean, Georgia got the bye. Let's see what happens tonight. What if Georgia loses?
It's funny because we were talking about Georgia. Georgia has that basically the same clock time-wise that they had winning the SEC, just like a regular playoff, because they basically went from first Saturday in December to basically New Year's Eve.
Right.
And now they have to play a day later because of everything that happened in New Orleans. So we'll see. All right, so Anthony Richardson is topic number 1 in Indianapolis. Matter of fact, even the coach is having to defend him, Gio, because he sat out last week's game, and Joe Flacco had to go in, and ultimately they got the doors blown off of him by the Giants, a bad Giants team. And so it's all gone wrong up there in Indianapolis. Well, listen to what Anthony Richardson said when the media was in the locker room talking about back spasms and just how bad they have been.
Last week was tough. I couldn't even stand up on Tuesday. Could barely even walk, crawl around the house. But, I'm here. I'm standing now. If I can do everything in my power to get on the field, I'm going to do so. That was my mindset last week as well. But, I could barely move. So,
Anthony, have you ever dealt with spasms before?
Yeah, I have. I've been dealing with stuff like this since about 8th grade, but it's never been this severe.
Okay.
It was definitely a little scary last year. I mean, not last week. I've been able to move, but like I said, I'm standing up now, and I'm looking forward to playing this week if I can.
Do you know what causes them? Has that been something they looked into?
I got an MRI. They checked it out. They said it's a disc thing that's been there for a while, but I guess it got triggered the wrong way last week, and it did what it did.
What do you think?
Well, I mean, herniated discs can cause back spasms, right? It can show up as a back spasm. So that's definitely something that can happen. And
that's what they'd be looking for with the MRI?
Yes.
Okay.
In the MRI, you'd be looking for any impingement, any bulging disc, herniated disc, or any, narrowing of where the nerves come out of to see if there's a reason why you're getting this, or one of the reasons why you're getting back spasm. Also, you can get back spasm just from, your muscles just spasming, even without a herniated disc. So there's a couple reasons that you can get it. He says that he has a herniated disc, which he has been dealing with for it sounds like a while, and that apparently whatever he did just kind of irritated the nerve in the spine, which caused the back spasm, which can happen. So for him, if this is the first time I've heard of him having it, or at least this bad. Maybe he's had it, but it hasn't been bad enough where he hasn't played. But if it becomes an issue where he keeps having to sit out, and then at that point, if it's from the herniated disc, you're going to have to discuss a surgery or a procedure to prevent it from the future from happening again.
So there's no truth to the rumor that he hurt his back laying on his friend's parents' couch got the bar in the middle. And why is our life possible. Revolves around Seinfeld? By the way,
it does. I love it.
So hang on. To deal with the acute pain of it, then, like for him to play, what do you do to deal with that pain?
So for muscle spasm, it's tough. You can take a steroid pack, which can help the inflammation of it. It would help the herniated disc if it's from it in the nerve. You can get a muscle relaxer, which can help, but muscle relaxers tend to make you groggy, right? So you could take it, and some people don't get any effect from it, but the majority of people get some sort of grogginess from a muscle relaxer. So taking it and then trying to play is going to be tough. Anti-inflammatories, you could try massage, but a lot of times muscle spasms in the back, we've all had them, usually take longer than a day, right, to get better. And if he had it immediately or the day before, it's going to take time for it to kind of calm down.
So could he wear one of those like TENS things?
So I'll tell you this.
During the game?
I love them.
During the game.
I know. I got you.
I don't know if
Matt lent his to me. I
guess,
didn't want to give it back.
I guess technically you could wear it during the game.
Explain what it is to everybody.
Yeah, so it's a little device you put on, and it sends like kind of an electric shock type thing into the muscle. I guess you could, in theory, wear it during the game. I don't know if it would stay on, getting hit and sweat and everything. But I guess in theory you could. But I don't think you'd
there's not a wireless one, right?
No,
you could put it on. Someone could wireless.
And I don't think you'd be able to play because sometimes it causes. It causes your muscle to kind of do a little contraction, twitch. So trying to play when that's happening is going to be a little tough.
I would go to rebound rehab. I'm like, I just want to stay here for another 20 minutes. Just turn it up. Turn it up. Now, you had back spasms.
Yeah.
Okay, so
but
when you hear what AR said, are you buying it or is it exaggerated?
I mean, it could happen, but the only time I had my muscle spasms had to do with training camp. When men were men, when we had to sweat and lift and all the other kind of stuff, and then you go back.
They were really taxing.
Yeah, when it's taxing your body, when it's hot, you're sweaty, you're lifting weights, you're conditioning, you're running, your practice. Then when I get back to the hotel room, your body lock up on you. I'm tell you something. When it comes to muscle spasm, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy because it hits the back. It goes down the buttocks, down the back of your leg, and the next thing you know, bro, you are in some immense pain.
And you're walking all cockeyed.
Yeah, you're in a mess. I'm telling you. And I remember many a times I used to lock up, and I used to see the water bottle on the table, and I could not reach it. It was right there. Was right.
A mirage in the desert.
I knew the water would save me. So I just could not get to it, bro. It was terrible.
All right, so here's a couple of questions. 641-1010. If you guys want to hit the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, definitely jump in. We will try and get free medical advice from Dr. George Barry. All right, Charles asked, Gio, I start PT next week that can really relieve my elbow tendonitis pain. How long until it starts to work?
So therapy, you need about 8 to 12 weeks to try to get some results out of it at minimum.
Mm-hmm.
2, 3, 4 visits is usually not enough to get you anywhere. We always tell people 4 to 6 weeks, which is 8 to 12 visits.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, another one, 641-1010. If you guys want to jump in and throw a question Gio's way. I'm 49 yesterday. I cleaned my office to prepare for the new year. I was on the ladder moving boxes, etc. I thought it was going to be bad. But he said, I had no pain all day and into the evening. However, I wake up this morning and can barely walk.
The back spasm got him.
Maybe. My left outer foot, right under the ball of the ankle, is in lots of pain. Fluffy, puffy, sack of fluid. Any idea what I did?
So outer foot, bottom ankle. If it wasn't for him not doing much, I would say maybe, you twist your ankle. But he or she said that they did not. Mm-hmm. But that area is where your ligaments are for the ankle. When you roll your ankle, those are the ligaments that usually get twisted. What could have been? It can be, actually, another thing is peroneal tendonitis. If you're up and down a ladder and you move in boxes, your peroneal tendons run in that area.
Know all about it.
The same area, and they can get inflamed. And if you did a lot of stuff and, sounds like they had a busy day, it could be inflammation of that peroneal tendon, and I'd recommend some ice, some anti-inflammatories, to kind of see if it goes away.
Is there an age limit for when you should be on a ladder?
Maybe.
I don't recommend going on any ladders more than like 3 steps.
But I love how Gio recognizes the pain the peroneal tendon may cause the listener as opposed to when I had serious peroneal tendon problems.
Right. By the way, JJ, there's really no age about the ladders, but as you get up past that 4th step, okay, I should not be on this ladder. It'll hit you. Don't worry.
All right, now maybe we can go back and look this up. I'm not 100% on this. Matt might remember this. The hip injury that Tua had when he was coming out of college.
Right.
We need to look that up. So anyway, Tua now.
It was the Bo Jackson thing. Very similar.
Just see if you can
pull it out of the socket.
Okay, see if you can look that bad boy up. I want to know
dislocation, a posterior wall acrotubular fracture.
Yeah, acetabular fracture.
Okay.
Excuse me.
His leg literally just came out.
Right? I say it differently than you.
Gesundheit.
Now, JJ, can you find out if this is the same hip because he has a hip injury that's pretty bad right now? and it doesn't say whether it's the exact same hip or not, but he's going to miss Sunday's game. So they're going up to play the Jets. You won't see Tua. You may not see Aaron. But based on what JJ just said, that injury from college, and he's about 5 years removed from college, what would you think?
Well, I mean, it could be a couple things. The injury that he first had, I remember we talked about it, saying the risk of avascular necrosis, right, or AVN, which is death of the blood supply to the hip, and it causes it to die. Then you need hip replacement. And then you have arthritis because of the fracture and the trauma itself. So those are the two things that you most worry about with those injuries. Mm-hmm. Now, he's been a couple years, and he's been fine, at least that we know of. And now they're saying he has a significant, is that what you just said, injury?
Yeah, that's the way Mike McDaniel, the coach of Miami's describing it.
I'll say this. AVN and arthritis are not injuries. They don't just pop up, right? They are gradual things that come over time, and slowly they start creeping up on you. If he had something that's quote-unquote an injury, it would not be related to the injury he had in college.
Right. Same hip, but different spot, they're saying.
Okay.
Tracy Wolfson reported that.
Okay. All right. I guess we'll see what happens with him. That cannot be good for Tua down the stretch, the way things have finished out with him. All right, Gio, great stuff. We've got Breaking Bones Sunday morning, the kickoff show. So if you got one more question you want to throw at us, 641-1010, we will try and include it. Sunday morning, they can find our podcast.
Apple, Google, Spotify, and 1010XL.
All right, Tony from Seinfeld. We'll talk to you later. Dr. George Bari, he of Bari Orthopedics.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a professional stamp licker from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Martin Celery.
Oh, gosh. I can't wait to play, Bob.
Well, let's move things along. Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
Wait, but
That's right, Marty. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we've stocked up on the remaining inventory of low-cost 2024 model air conditioners. So you win. We're passing the savings on to you.
Can I answer a question first?
We need to make room for the 25s, so we're offering great deals on AC replacements while supplies last.
Could I spin the wheel at least? I've been practicing for a year.
With last-minute deals like this, there's no question that you are cool.
What do I tell my kids?
There you go. Have a souvenir t-shirt.
Thanks.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Hey, poker fans! The Best Bet Winter Open Series returns to Best Bet Jacksonville from January 23rd to February 2nd. Satellites into the $1,500 main event kick off January 4th. Take your shot at big payouts with 8 action-packed events and $500,000 in guarantees. Visit bestbetjacks.com for more details. That's bestbetjacks.com. And we'll see you at the Winter Open starting January 23rd.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 2nd, 1965, the New York Jets signed future Pro Football Hall of Fame quarterback Joe Namath to a $427,000 contract.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Lauren Brooks for Big Chief Tire. Right now, Big Chief is offering 6-month financing with their CFNA card, plus $50 off your first purchase. With no interest for 6 months, it's the perfect time to take care of your vehicle's needs, whether that's new tires, brakes, or other services. Their skilled technicians are here to help get you back on the road safely and affordably. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to apply and take advantage of this great deal. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprowski at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaprowskis are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprowski are the answer. Craig.Kaprowski at Goosehead.com.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
American Electrical is looking for bright minds and hard workers to help light up North Florida. The community continues to grow, and now you can grow your career with a company that will make sure you succeed through commitment. Take advantage of the Electrical Academy, dedicated to training select students. And the best news, it's free of charge. Log on to American-Electrical.com to find out more. They're leading the way in electrical contractors on the First Coast, and you can be part of the team. American Electrical, powered by professionalism. Equal opportunity employer.
Hacker here, and for the first time in nearly 20 years, I finally get to have a different resolution. Like most of you, mine was always to lose weight. I'd try something for a few weeks, maybe lose a pound or two, and then give up. Well, I tried. Starting the new year with Awaken 180 isn't a try. It's a sure thing. And why will you stick with it? Because instead of a pound or two, you'll see results right out of the gate. We all need motivation. After my first 3 weeks with Awaken 180, I was already down 30 pounds. Granted, I had a lot of weight to lose, but look at Dempsey, look at Matt Hayes. Those guys had results out of the gate too. Dempsey dropped 9 pounds his first week, Matt dropped 12 pounds. Regardless of the weight you need to drop, seeing those fast results will motivate you to reach your goal. Guys, girls, losing weight regardless of how many times you've tried is possible with Awaken 180. Make the sure bet and make 2025 the last time losing weight is your New Year's resolution. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
You've been injured in a car accident, and the insurance company denies your medical bills, denies to pay your lost wages, and won't repair your car. Then it's time to fight back. Time to call Farah and Farah at 396-5555. Jacksonville.
This is Dr. Michael Iorio, internal medicine physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
As Doug Peterson and his staff prepare for the season's final game, they are still looking to take care of business and leave Indianapolis with a W. Peterson was asked what finishing the year on back-to-back wins would do for the team going forward.
Gives you a little momentum, gives you the hope that you want and that you need, and then you work on what you need to fix. So if we can do that, and plus we finished 4-2 in the division, if that's the case, But playing a good football team, running back, quarterback. Defense is I think sixth in the NFL in takeaway. It's a good football team. So we gotta go and keep our minds right.
The Colts have a talented roster with threats all over the field, but a win over them would complete the season sweep. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right. My takeaway is that I'm outraged that Saquon Barkley was the only person asked about this record. As a former offensive lineman, I have as much to do with this record as anybody else. Mm-hmm. And the offensive lineman should have been asked, hey, fellas, we're going to give you a half to break the record. And then let's see what happens. Because there's some stuff that, this is stuff that you take. There's some lineage to this.
To your grave.
Your grave, man. Come on now. You broke. Eric Dixon been holding this record for 40 years. You're not even going to take a shot at it? Even Steph Curry shoot a jumper every now and then.
Yeah. Yeah, but to be fair, Dickerson had 16 games and Juice had 14 games and rushed for 2,000 yards.
Man, I don't care nothing about
take a look at
I want the record.
Take a look at the attempts that Saquon has.
Yes, the attempts.
Less than Eric Dickerson.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
You got to take a shot at it. I don't agree with it. That's all.
All right, my takeaway is we've gone 2 hours now. We haven't asked which boogeyman shows up tonight. Or does the boogeyman show up? I guess is the better question.
Mm-hmm.
Does the boogeyman show up tonight? Or is it just, the one of the many times we've seen Georgia this year and you're like, what is going on? That's the question. Because I don't think it's going to be about Gunnar Stockton. I think he'll play well enough to win. It's, do they play around him? Are they the extremely focused team that they've been 3 times this year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not even 3, 2.5. Both Texas games and half a game against Alabama.
Yeah.
Are they that zeroed in? Because if they're that zeroed in, they're the only team that can beat Ohio State.
Yeah, I'll follow it.
And I don't think they will, even if they are zeroed in, but they're the only team that could.
But I'll follow that with just another part of what you're saying. I never thought a team or a team's fan base would be so stoked about a backup at the most important position.
Yeah.
And yet they are. They've dispatched Beck. The Kirby Smart sounder that we played a couple days ago kind of blew my mind.
I didn't hear it. What he said?
JJ might be able to find it, but basically saying the players will rally around him, which is natural.
Right.
You pick yourself up and say, "Hey, we got to play that much better because we got to help this guy." And I totally get all that. But the love affair that's gone on with the Gunner and the divorce that's gone on with Carson Beck, it is unbelievable.
Sad, man.
And so we'll find out whether or not they can do it. I think against the best of the best, a backup quarterback in that situation certainly is going to have a tougher time than the guy who originally won the job. Will that happen against Notre Dame? I don't know. It might happen against Ohio State or whomever else.
Penn State would be next.
Moves on. All right, so listen to this soundbite, Matty, because Leon and I played this a couple days ago, and I guess I was just shocked by it all.
All the players play harder for him. Do you make the players around you better? That's what you look for in a quarterback. I think he raises the skill level of everybody around him because of who he is. So that's my reason for believing he's a good quarterback.
I love how he ended it. So that's my reason. And so he basically is saying subtraction, addition by subtraction is what's taking place. But listen,
I don't
Matt,
know that's what he meant.
Okay, but did he not say that?
I heard what he said. I think the question, we didn't hear the question, but my guess is by the way he answered it was, what does Gunner bring to the team? And I think he's saying is he's talented. He's talented enough to lift the other players around him. I don't think that was a shot at Carson at all. I don't. I think that was more being positive about Gunner Stockton. Kirby loves Carson. I don't think that was a shot at Carson. I just don't. I may be wrong, okay? Right. But I heard that as I'm trying to say that guys will rally around him and he's talented enough to lift them because he's trying to say this kid has ability.
He is trying to lift him up. That I totally get. But when he says that these guys play better around him,
I think what he means by that is these guys will play better around him is what he means. Because they know it's important that he's a backup, and they need
I get that part.
They need to play better.
Well, even in the midst of that, Carson did struggle a little bit this year. I mean, you couldn't see, he's shaking the tree a little bit.
He was shaky a little bit. Yeah, there's no doubt he was. But believe me, if he thought Gunner was a better player than Carson, and that
he would have started him.
He would have started him. Beck beat him out. And
he would have yanked Beck any number of times and put Gunnar Stockton in there if he thought Gunnar Stockton was the better player.
It's not just Kirby. It's just everyone else that has come out and said they're better with Gunnar in so many words and just dismissing what Beck did do. Beck did take them almost to an unbeaten season last year. Should have been in the playoff. Job by the committee. Who knows 100%. What would have? Yeah, who knows what would have happened if they would have made it in? Comes back this year, rolling and rocking, and then just all of a sudden, just the wheels come off. Well, there were also 33 or more drops by these receivers,
and his two best receivers were in jail.
Yeah. And look at the rotation of running backs that just kept getting hurt, including Trevor Etienne, who will be back this game, but we don't know exactly how healthy he'll be because, honestly, it's been an off and on switch at the running back position. Getting Tate Ratledge back definitely was valuable for them, but they have not had all the complementary pieces. And we were talking about this. You want to know why Carson Beck didn't look nearly as good maybe at the November stretch of this year versus last year? because Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers are setting rookie records left and right in the National Football League. These guys
and
are
because Aaron
unbelievable.
Smith kept dropping the damn ball.
Yes. 33 drops. At least that was the number I had. I'm trying to think of what the other ones were. But anyway, it just blows your mind. Speaking of guys that were great on that college football field and now have stepped on to the NFL field, and it just happens so quickly. JJ, warm up a bold fact for me here real quick on that subject.
Here's a bold fact brought to you by Bold City Brewery, Duval's first craft brewery. Online at boldcitybrewery.com.
All right, so you talk about Bold City Brewery and the festive time that we are in. We are now into 2025. They have been around since 2008. You can log on boldcitybrewery.com. You can head on in. Enjoy a little action tonight with that smash burger. What a great, great menu they've got, along with a great craft. And you can order XL Primetime Hazy IPA. Outstanding creation.
Pretty good.
It was really good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, and so while supplies last, make sure you drop on by Bold City Brewery and order up an XL Primetime Hazy. All right, so we talk about how great these guys are, especially at the receiving position. And Malik Neighbors is another one who has just turned a lot of heads. 104 receptions this season, okay? So he is tied with Jalen Waddle, who was another great receiver in the college game with 104. He had that in 2021 in Miami. And those guys are tied third most by a rookie. Well, the other two guys that just went past him are the ones we just mentioned, Brock and Puka. But he also has 13 games with at least 5 receptions this season. Who did he pass as far as the most games with 5 or more receptions by a rookie in NFL history? Wow. At least 5 receptions 13 times this year. And he went past a couple of guys who did it a dozen times. I'll take either one of them. As a rookie.
As a rookie?
Yeah.
Got Randy? No,
Nope.
Randy?
No.
Okay.
Andre Johnson?
Nope. Another good one.
Reggie Wayne?
Nope.
Are these recent guys?
Marvin Harrison?
Nope. We're going back. We're definitely going back. One in the 90s, one in the O's.
One in the 90s? Wow.
One in the 90s, one in the O's.
Interesting.
One's close to home. The other one, his team is still playing and kicking arse right now.
He's close to home.
This is a guy that definitely did a lot in his rookie year. And whenever I bring him up, it's always a little bit of a shock to you guys to hear his name. And it is a shock to me, too. It's not like I would have remembered.
All right, so let's give it to us.
Anquan Bolden.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Anquan Bolden.
He did have a stretch there where he caught a ton of balls. Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
He had a great career.
He really did. And it was both as a, what was it, a Raven and a Cardinal?
There was like a 4 or 5 year stretch where he was just everything you threw to him.
Yeah. Anquan did it 12 games in 2003. And the other one was the guy that I don't know whether he was included in the groceries with Bill Parcells or not, but Terry Glenn in 1996 definitely had a great run. And that's the year that they came here. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
No, 96.
96? We didn't play.
96, you played them up there. That would have been 98 maybe that they came here. Something like that. Anyway.
He had 101 catches in his first year, Anquan Bolden.
Yeah, he was a baller.
Remember Spurrier wanted to play him quarterback?
Yeah, he was a baller. Was he a Pahokee kid?
Well, I
Spurrier
think he
wanted him
did
to play what?
quarterback in the Sugar Bowl, remember?
That was the whole thing that he said he wanted to play quarterback. Spurrier was going to play him a quarterback and then bowed and said, well, we'll play a quarterback. Then he gets in there and immediately played wide receiver.
Wow. Well, that's like Marshall Faulk coming into Miami on our visit.
Yeah.
And Michael Barrows took him out. And he didn't want to come to Miami because they said that he was going to be a DB.
Ooh.
Who tells Marshall Faulk he's going to be a DB?
Yeah, I would not.
Yeah, Anquan Bolden, by the way, did start the Sugar Bowl. Remember, they had all those guys have to sit out.
Right.
And he was 6 for 14, 78 yards and a touchdown. I just remember the touchdown was just like, wow, what an arm.
That is true.
Yeah, it was just a P-Rod down the sideline.
He probably could have been a good college quarterback, too.
Spurrier would tell a lot of guys, yeah, we'll try you at quarterback. And they'd come in and he'd say, all right, take a snap. All right, go to wide receiver. We've seen enough. That's it. And so that's how he did it. I'll give you a shot, but I ain't going to give you a long shot. And so
he gave Mike Pete a shot at quarterback.
Yeah, Mike.
And then Mike P quickly moved to linebacker.
And he
that
just
was
kept
that.
adding weight, and the rest is history because you talk about a dang good linebacker for a long time. Is he still part of the staff? I know that when Austin moved on, I was just curious if they had made any. I thought he still was.
Well, he didn't follow Chris Farley.
No,
he's still there.
Yeah, the RIP defense is RIP in Gainesville now. Austin, he gone. All right, so game description when we get back tomorrow, Leon. How does it go tonight or this afternoon? Actually,
Notre Dame, Georgia.
Yeah,
I agree with Matt. Are we going to see the real boogeyman? I mean, it's a prime time. It's a championship game. I expect Georgia to play well. I think it's going to be a fist fight. I think they're going to play to their strengths, but I think ultimately, Georgia's going to win.
Real quick, away from this, what do you think Anquan Bolden's last season was in the NFL? What year?
What do you do?
2010,
21, 23 came in. Sorry, 23.
23. His last year, he played a long time. 2017.
He played until 2016.
Wow.
His last year with the
14
Lions.
years.
He caught 67 passes his last year.
Dude
with the
was
Lions.
so productive. So that's 14 seasons. That's pretty dang good.
Golly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Game to script.
Yeah. I don't think Notre Dame can handle Georgia's defense.
All right.
I think Georgia finds a way late to win that
We're
game.
going to find out whether or not they can defend Riley Leonard because the running quarterback is giving them problems. So we'll see how it
And
goes.
you? What do you got? You got the boogeyman?
I took Notre Dame in the points, so we'll see how we do. The points came down.
Point.
Yeah.
The point, right.
Yeah. The point now. It came down. Woo! All right. We hope we get a good one. We are done. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We always say thanks to everyone who makes every day a great day at 1010XL. Happy New Year. Best to all of you in 2025. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Searcy, and JJ.
It's like overtime, regardless of the score.
There's no overtime. No overtime? No.
The window world of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter.
Oh, wow.
After the game, join hacker Leon and Coach Campo. Presented by Von Bowen Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
At Hodges Mazda, they are proud of their solid reputation in the Jacksonville community. Lauren Brooks here as your hometown Mazda dealer. Their high customer service standards and their huge inventory of new and used cars provide their customers a consistently first-rate car buying experience. Their professional non-commissioned sales team puts your best interest first without exception. And all new car purchases include the Hodges Mazda Protection Plan. Visit Hodges Mazda online at HodgesMazda.com or stop in today during Mazda's A Season to Move You event and discover the Hodges Mazda difference.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. What's better than beer? Cold beer. Put your company logo on a custom koozie. Check them out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval.